What are the accounts that has to be prepared under dissolution? So you have to prepare realization account, partners capital account as well as bank account. Whole question paper will be for 132 marks where you will have 20 questions of 1 mark, 5 questions of 2 marks, 5 questions of 6 marks and 6 questions of 12 marks. What is the entry for forfeiture? Share capital account data to forfeited shares account to share first and final call account. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, so let us see what is this new question paper pattern. So how they have asked questions under each and every section and what is the weightage of each and every chapter under this model question paper. So I am going to solve the model question paper also. So it is a solved question paper. Okay, so let us move on to the session. So as I told you, I am going to discuss about your model question paper. So I have divided this model question paper into session 1 as well as session 2 where I could not complete the whole thing in session 1. So your part A, B and C will be discussed in session 1 and section D will be discussed in session 2. So let us move on to the session. So if you see the question paper pattern, so as per your PU board, so your 2023-24, so your question paper pattern is as follows. So under section A, you will have 1 mark question where they will give you 20 questions and you have to be very careful this time. So all the 20 questions have to be answered. So there is no option under this section A. So all the 20 questions of 1 mark. Okay, so 5 marks will be your multiple choice question. So here 20 marks is divided as 5 marks will be multiple choice and so 5 marks is MCQ, 5 marks will be fill in the blanks, 5 marks will be match the following and 5 marks will be one word. So one word question. So this is a compulsory section where all the 20 questions have to be answered and there is no option. So 20 questions of 1 mark. So number of questions to be answered is 20 and the total marks you can get here is 20. So each question carries 1 mark where 5 marks will be of multiple choice question, 5 marks of fill in the blanks, 5 marks of the match the following and 5 mark is of one word answer or one sentence answer. Okay, so you have to be very careful here because you don't have an option. Now coming to your 2 marks under that is section B, 2 marks question where they will ask you 5 questions out of which you have to answer only 3. So that you will be having 2 extra questions. So out of 5 you have to answer only 3. So which carries 2 marks so that you can get 6 marks here. Now coming to your section C. That is 6 marks questions. So how many questions they will ask under 6 marks? That is 5 questions they will ask. Each carries 6 marks. Out of 5 questions, you have to answer any 3 questions. So again, you have an option. So out of 5, you have to answer any 3 so that you can get 18 marks under section C. Now coming to your last section, that is section D, which is of 12 marks questions. So where they will ask you 6 questions out of which you have to answer any 3 questions only. So here also you will be having an option so that you can get 36 marks under section D. So hope you are clear about the question paper pattern. The whole question paper has been divided into 4 sections. Section A, B, C and D. Section A is of 1 mark question. Section B is of 2 marks question. Section C is of 6 marks question. And section D is of 12 marks question, where under section A you have to be very careful under 1 mark where you have to answer all the questions compulsorily 1 to 20. Okay, so where they have divided into fill in the blanks, match the following, multiple choice questions as well as 1 word or 1 sentence questions. And under section B, C and D you will be having an option so you can be at a safer side. But here those are scoring centum. You have to go through each and every bit of your syllabus because all 1 mark questions are compulsory. Now, so the total number of questions in your question paper will be 36, where you have to answer. As per the heading, you have to go through the headings, and under each and every section, you have to answer carefully, so that you are going to answer only 29 questions. So, the mark you are going to get is 80 marks. So this is a 80 mark external question paper where 20 marks will be your internal marks. So which you get from your respective colleges. So 80 marks you are going to answer in your final examination, that is your external paper. So hope you are clear about your question paper pattern. Now moving on to the blueprint. So as per the board which has released the blueprint for this academic year, so you can go through the blueprint chapter wise, weightage of mark and typology of questions 2023 and 24. So my dear students, you have to be careful. What is a code? So subject code for accountancy is code 30. Your subject code for accountancy is 30. So they'll ask you when you are going to fill your front sheet of your answer paper. So they'll ask you the subject code. So your subject code is 30. Anyhow, you will get an instruction, but be careful. For the safer side, you know the code for accountancy subject is 30. Then your class is second PUC. So this is about your second PUC syllabus. So I'm going to discuss about the blueprint. So what would be the weightage? How many 1 mark question will be asked? How many 2 marks question will be asked? How many 6 marks will be there? How many 12 marks will be there from each and every chapter? Now you know there are 2 books. So part 1 as well as part 2. So this is from your part 1 book. So if you see the blueprint as per the chapter wise. So from your chapter 1. So your chapter 1 is accounting for partnership basic concepts. So what is the weightage of this chapter? So how many marks you can get from this chapter if you learn this chapter? So you can get 10 marks. So how you can get 10 marks? You will have 1 mark 2 questions, 2 marks 1 question and 6 mark 1 question. Okay, so this is how your question paper pattern will be, or the blueprint of your first chapter. So you'll be having 1 mark 2 questions, 2 marks 1 question and 6 marks 1 question. So you might have an idea now what are the types of question that comes for 6 marks. Normally you will be having a question on interest on drawings or P&L appropriation account. So this will be the question which will be asked for 6 marks. Now coming to your second chapter, reconstitution of a partnership firm, under that admission of a partner. So your second chapter is very important, that is admission of a partner. The total weightage of this chapter is 14 marks. So how you are going to get this 14 marks? You will have 1 mark 2 questions and of course you will have a 12 marks 1 question. Now what is this A and R? So normally each and every year if they ask 6 marks from admission chapter, they'll ask 12 marks from retirement. So it will be an alternative every year. So if they ask 6 marks from admission chapter, from the next chapter, that is retirement, they'll ask 12 marks. If they ask 12 marks from admission, then you will get a 6 marks from retirement. So I have given it as A bar R, which means that your 12 marks, you have to go through 12 marks of both admission and retirement. But most of the time they'll ask a question from admission for 12 marks. So give more importance for admission chapter, that is of 12 marks. So the same way you have to give importance for retirement also. But if you see your previous question paper, most of the time they have asked 12 marks question from admission chapter. So if you learn admission properly, only slight changes you have to make under retirement. So go through the 12 marks admission chapter properly so that your retirement will also becomes easy. So what is the weightage? That is 14 marks where you can get 1 mark 2 questions as well as 12 mark 1 question where you will be having an alternative. So be prepared for both admission 12 marks as well as retirement, because either admission or retirement comes, but most of the time they have asked admission or 12 marks problem from admission chapter. Now coming to your third chapter, that is reconstitution of a partnership firm. Under that you are going to learn retirement or death of a partner. So retirement and death of a partner, so very important chapter. So the total weightage is 16 marks where you can get 1 mark 2 questions, 2 mark 1 questions, 6 marks 2 questions. So I have told you your 12 marks either it can be asked year or year. In the same way your 6 marks will be asked year or in the admission chapter. So your 2 marks or 6 marks 2 question. So one would be on retirement, that is calculation of your gain ratio. Okay, so most of the time they have asked this question, calculation of gain ratio. The other 100% it will be deceased partner's capital account or deceased partner's executor's account. Okay, so that will be a 6 marks question. So one question you can give more importance is calculation of gain ratio. Other one is that is death of a partner, where you can solve a problem on deceased partner's capital account or deceased partner executor's account. Out of those two, they will ask one. So which are the two questions you have to give more importance? Calculation of gain ratio and deceased partner capital account or deceased partner executor's account. If you learn deceased partner capital account, it is similar, bit changes you have to make under executor's account. Okay, so hope you are clear about the third chapter, that is retirement and death of a partner. Now coming to your fourth chapter, dissolution of a partnership firm, again a very important chapter. So where you can get 14 marks from this chapter. Okay, so you will have 1 mark, 2 questions, as well as 100% a question will be asked for 12 marks. So what are the accounts that has to be prepared under dissolution? So you have to prepare realization account, partner's capital account, as well as bank account. So a 100% 12 marks problem you can get or you can expect from dissolution chapter. Okay, so the total weightage will be 14 marks. Now if you see the part 1 book, so what is the total marks you can get from part 1 book? That is 54 marks. Okay, so under section A, you will get 8 marks. Under section B, 2 marks. Section C, you will be having that is total of part 1. So you will be having 3 questions. It's not about the marks. So the total marks will be 54. The number of questions under section A is 8 questions. Number of questions under section B is 2 questions. Number of questions under section C is 3 questions. And number of questions under section D, that is 12 marks question, will be 2. Okay, so hope you are clear about the detailed blueprint of part 1 book of your accountancy syllabus. Now coming to part 2, so there are 6 chapters. So your first chapter is accounting for share capital. So of course, when you hear the word share capital, yes, 100% we will have a 12 marks question from share capital, correct? So the total weightage of this chapter is 16 marks, where you can get 2 questions of 1 mark, 1 question of 2 marks, as well as 100% 1 question of 12 marks, where just you have to record those 9 journal entries with the respective amount. Just you have to remember what are the, or just you have to understand what are the entries or what are the amount you have to record there. If you know the entries, it is very easy to record the amounts there. So the total weightage, so you can give more importance for this chapter because a very easy chapter from the examination point of view. You have to know the journal entries, and if you know how to record the amount under each and every journal entry, then it is done. So you can easily score 12 marks here. Okay. Next chapter, chapter 2 under part B. Okay. Issue and redemption of debentures. Again, this is also a very important chapter which carries 14 marks, where you have 2 questions of 1 mark as well as 1 question of 12 marks. This is also relating to journal entry. These 2 you can easily score. Just you have to know the journal entries and understand how the amount has to be recorded. Okay, so only that much is enough. So under share capital, it is 9 journal entry. Under debentures, it is only 8 journal entries. Okay, so which carries 12 marks. So go through the journal entries. Most of the time they have asked similar type of questions, so that you can easily score with less time consuming. You can easily score the marks. Okay, so that is about debentures. Next, third chapter is financial statement of a company. So here you are going to learn about the format. If you know the format, you can easily score here. That is financial statement of a company. So the total weightage of this chapter is 10 mark, where they'll ask you 1 mark, 2 questions, 2 marks, 1 question, and 6 marks, 1 question. So you can go through the previous year question paper as well as the model question paper what we are discussing today, so that you come to know what type of questions they will ask. Okay, so that is about your financial statement of a company. Next, fourth chapter is analysis of financial statement. Again, a very easy chapter where you can easily score 12 marks. Okay, so that is analysis of financial statement. So the total weightage is 14 marks. Okay, so where you have 1 mark, 2 questions, and 12 marks, 1 question. Where you can get a question on comparative balance sheet or common size balance sheet. Okay, so very important as well as very easy to score 12 marks here. So you can give importance for this analysis of financial statement. Okay, so that is about your analysis of financial statement where the weightage is 14 marks. Next, your fifth chapter is accounting ratios, where you have to know the formulas, few of the formulas here, so that you can easily score also. So if you are good in memorizing, or if you are good in remembering things, you can go for this chapter, that is accounting ratios, where you have to learn few of the formulas properly and apply that in the problem. Okay, so your total weightage is 14 marks, where you can get 1 mark 2 questions and 12 mark 1 questions. So here if you see here, under each and every chapter 1 mark is being asked, either 1 question or 2 questions. So make sure that you have to go through each and every bit of your syllabus. So of course your 1 marks will be easy, because in a multiple choice question you will be having an option, and a fill in the blanks also at the top they will give all the options. So you will have the answer in the question paper itself. Again in the match the following also you will have the answer, just you have to match. Okay, so you will go wrong when you have 1 word or 1 sentence question. So be careful. So those who are expecting centum, so make sure that don't lose any marks in your 1 mark questions, because you don't have an option there. So be careful, go through each and every bit of your syllabus. Okay, next is accounting ratios. We are done. So I have told you those are good in memorizing things, or those are good who have a good memory, where you can learn the formula and apply the formula. You can go for accounting ratios, because you will have a 12 marks problem where you have to apply the formula and write the solution. Next, coming to your last chapter, cash flow statement. Again, a easy problem will be asked for 6 marks. Okay, so you can go through this. So where the total weightage is 10 mark, where you have 1 mark 2 questions, 2 marks 1 question, as well as 6 marks 1 question. Okay, so the weightage is 10 mark here. So if you are good in writing or segregating them into investing, operating and financing activities, so normally you will get a question either investing, operating or financing activities to calculate, that is cash flow statement under investing, financing or operating activities for 6 marks. You can go through this chapter. Okay, so the total of part 2 is you can get 78 marks under part 2 itself. Okay, so the total weightage of part 2 is 78 marks, whereas the total weightage of part 1 was 54 marks. Here you can get 78 marks if you concentrate only on part 2. So I have told you your total paper will be for 80 marks. So if you just concentrate on your part 2, you will get 78 marks from this only. Okay, so but there are few difficult concepts you might feel difficult to understand, then you can refer your part 1 also, so that it will be easy for you to go through each and every part. So take some concepts from part 1 and part 2, so that you can easily score here. Okay, so the total 1 mark question is 12, total 2 marks question is 3, total 6 marks question under part 2 is 2, and total 12 marks question under part, that is under part 2 is 4 questions they will ask. Okay, so this is about your blueprint. So grand total of part 1 and part 2. So how many questions? So the total whole question paper will be for 132 marks, where you will have 20 questions of 1 mark, 5 questions of 2 marks, 5 questions of 6 marks and 6 questions of 12 marks, where this 20 you have to all compulsorily you have to attempt without any option. Here out of 5 you are going to answer only 3. Here under 6 marks out of 5 you are going to answer 3. Under 12 marks out of 6 you are going to answer 3. So hope you are clear about the blueprint. Have a detailed study about the blueprint. So this is how your question paper will be set in your final examination. Now we shall see your model question paper which is released from your board. So this is how it is. So they have given model question paper, second year PUC, and the subject code is for accountancy is 30. Okay, and the time they have given is 3 hours 15 minutes. Now why this 15 minutes is given? So in your paper, so your 3 hours 15 minutes has to be utilized very properly. So well, your first 15 minutes, what you are going to do, you are going to read your question paper properly. So in accountancy, so while reading your question paper, make sure that, so you should have an idea, so which question I have to attempt. So when I get the answer sheet, which question I have to attempt. So if you find any of the difficult adjustments in between, don't try to attempt the question. So make sure that go to the next question and see that whether I am able to answer that question or not. So why I am telling this, because so when you are reading the heading of your questions and if you are stuck in between, so you are wasting your time. So either you can't complete your answer properly, so you are wasting your time, or you will jump to the next question. So you will waste the time half solved. So make sure that, so well, given that 15 minutes, don't waste your time, read the question paper properly and try to understand and analyze that whether I am able to attempt or solve that question properly or not. Okay, so that first 15 minutes have to be utilized properly reading the question paper. Next 3 hours, you are going to write or you are going to solve the question paper. So 3 hours has to be utilized properly. Make sure that your presentation has to be very neat. You will write the headings properly. You will draw the columns properly. Your format has to be complete. Okay, so draw lines properly. So all these has to be looked after in your 3 hours. So as I told you, in your first 15 minutes, you will have an idea or you will get an idea. So whether I have to attempt that question or not. So not in 1 marks, in your 2 marks, 6 marks and 12 marks. So make sure that, so you should have that capacity or you should be able to analyze whether you are going to solve that question or not. So that understanding as well as discussion in your mind has to go in that 15 minutes only. Okay, in next 3 hours, you are going to just solve the problem. So, and always make sure that if you are once done with solving the question paper, so try to attempt the extra question. So, when you attempt the extra question, so there is a possibility that you can get more marks. It's not about getting more marks. So, it's about, suppose if you attempt 4 12 marks question where your first question of 12 marks itself is wrong, then the next 3 maximum marks will be considered. For that reason, make sure that if you have sufficient time, try to attempt the extra questions. Okay, so that is about your 3 hours 15 minutes. And the total number of questions will be 32 questions and the maximum marks you are going to write is for 80 marks, where I have already told you your 20 marks will be internal marks. Okay, so which will be given from your college based on your quarterly test as well as midterm examination. So you are going to solve that paper for 80 marks. Okay, so that is in your external exam. Now let us see what are the instructions they have given in your model question paper. So the first one is the question paper contains 4 parts A, B, C and D. So I have told you your whole question paper have been divided into 4 sections. Section A, Section B, Section C and Section D. Part A contains 4 sections 1, 2, 3 and 4. So your first one will be multiple choice question. Second will be fill in the blanks. Third will be match the following and fourth will be 1 mark, or that is 1 mark question where you have to write 1 word or 1 sentence each. Okay, so that is about your first instruction. Second one is provide working notes wherever necessary. Of course, in accounting, we have lot of working notes to be shown. So make sure that even though if you know the answer directly, so wherever necessary, you have to show the working note. So it may be in your 6 marks or in your 12 marks, write the side heading working note and show the working note wherever it is required. Next is 15 minutes extra has been allotted for candidates to read the questions. I have already discussed about it. In 15 minutes, there are 2 in accountancy paper, you just analyze and try to see that which question I am going to attempt, whether I am in a position to solve the whole question properly. So that you have to analyze in first 15 minutes. Next, figures in the right hand margin indicates the full marks. So I'll show where they have given that marks allotment, so that I'll show later when I'm going to solve the question paper. Now let us directly move on to the question. That is your first main. So this is section A. Okay, section A, there are 20 questions which has to be answered compulsorily. Now let us see your first main. Choose the correct answer from the choices given. So under section A, it is first main. So this was the last instruction. The right hand margin, it indicates what? Marks. Okay, so go through the first question. In order to form partnership, there should be at least dash members, correct? So at least they have given, your option is 1%, 2%, 7%, 10%. So how you are going to answer? You will write the option first. So your answer is B, correct? So you are not going to put the tick mark because I have already told you in your question paper, you are not going to put a tick mark. Even a single dot has to be there, should not be there in your question paper. So you have to be very careful because it is considered as malpractice. Your question paper has to be very neat till the end of the examination. No writing, no scribbling, anything in your question paper. Okay, so your options was 1%, 2%, 7% and 10%. No putting tick mark in your question paper. Directly in your answer sheet, you will write option B. So, you will write 1, option B, 2%. Okay, so this is how you have to write the answer for multiple choice question. Even this option has to be written. Now, second question is X, Y and Z are partners sharing profit and loss in the ratio 3:2:1. If Y retires, the new profit sharing ratio of X and Z will be. This is a very easy question. Now, who are the partners? X, Y and Z. What is their profit sharing ratio? 3:2:1. Now, who retires? Y retires. Now, what is the ratio of X and Z? So, few of the students keep on calculating. So, we have only one ratio. How to find out the new profit sharing ratio? Don't break your head. So, you have left out Y retires, correct? Remaining is what? 3 and 1. So, the new profit sharing ratio of X and Z will be 3:1. So, what is your answer here? Option A, 3:1. So, how to write? So, we'll write second question, A, 3:1. Hope you are clear. Now, moving on to the third question. Mahindra Limited forfeited 4,000 equity shares of ₹10 each issued at a premium of ₹2 per share for non-payment of first and final call of ₹4 per share. On forfeiture, share forfeiture account will be credited by. So, they have given us option for which you have to solve this. So, randomly don't put a tick mark here or don't write the answer randomly. So, you can remember that 12 marks question where what is the entry for forfeiture? So, your entry was share capital account debtor, share capital account debtor to forfeited shares account to first and final call account. Equity share, first and final call account. So, this was the entry, correct? So, what is the entry for forfeiture? Share capital account data to forfeited shares account to share first and final call account. Now, how many shares are forfeited? So, forfeited is 4,000 shares of rupees how much? 10 each. Leave the premium. So, of rupees how much? 10 each. Okay. Two forfeited shares account. Now, this is share capital is 4,000 into 10. So, how much amount we have received? So, for 4,000 shares, 4,000 into, so let it be blank now. Now, to first and final call. For 4,000 shares, how much amount we have not received on first and final call? That is 4 we have not received. Which means that out of 10 rupees, we have not received 4 rupees. So, how much we have received then? So, we have received 6 rupees, correct? 6 plus 4, how much? 10. Okay. Now, what the question is, Mahindra Limited forfeited 4,000 equity shares of ₹10 each issued at a premium of 2 per share. Leave this premium. Okay, so in forfeiture, we will not include that premium for non-payment of first and final call of ₹4 per share. Okay, so share forfeiture account will be credited. Now, they are asking how much is credited to forfeited shares account or share forfeiture account. So, how much? 4,000 into 6. So, what is the answer? So, 4,000 into 6 means 24,000. So, your answer is option B, 24,000. So, hope you are clear. Next, fourth question. Current assets does not include. So, they have given us few options where we have to identify which is not a current asset. Okay. So, short-term investment is a current asset. Building, it is not a current asset. It is a fixed asset. correct, or non-current asset. Inventory is a current asset, cash and cash equivalents is a current asset. So your answer is option B, building. Next, fifth question. ABC company extends the credit terms of 45 days to its customers. Its credit collection would be considered poor. Now you have to remember this word here, or you have to give importance to that word, poor, if its average collection period was dash days. So when we take our credit collection period is poor. So they have given us 45 days credit period. If we consider ourselves that our credit collection period is poor, which means that it should be more than 45 days. So if it is good, then it is less than 45 days. If it is poor, then it is more than 45 days. Then which is the right answer here? More than 45 days is 47 days. So your answer is option C, 47 days. So this is your first main multiple choice question. They'll ask you 5 questions which carries 1 mark, where you'll be having an option. Just you have to write the option. And I have told you how to answer. You have to write this, whether it is option A, B, C or D, and then write the answer. Now coming to your second main under section A itself, fill in the blanks by choosing the appropriate answers from those given in the brackets. So they have given few answers in the bracket where we have to choose the right answer for that. So at the time of admission of a new partner, general reserve appearing in the old balance sheet is transferred to dash account. So you might have seen your 12 marks. So whatever the general reserve which is given in the old balance sheet will be transferred to where? In the admission of a partner, it is transferred to where? Old partner's capital account. So your answer is what? That is old partner's capital account. Next, 7th question. If a partner takes over an asset, such partner's capital account is dash. So they are asking about whether it has to be debited or credited. So if you remember your realization account, so when an asset taken over by the partner, so where do we record? So we'll record in the credit side. Correct? So partner's capital account will be recorded in the credit side. So what is your answer? Your answer is it is being credited. So your answer is credited. Next is 8th question. Debenture holders are dash of the company. They are the creditors of the company. Suppose if they ask shareholders are dash of the company, they are the owners of the company. Debenture holders are creditors of the company. Next, 9th question. Common size statement is also known as dash analysis. So, what type of analysis is common size statement? So, comparative statement is horizontal analysis, whereas common size statement is vertical analysis. So, you have an option here. So, dash analysis it is vertical analysis. Next, 10th question. Liquidity ratio are calculated to measure the dash solvency of the business. So, if you see an option here, we have only few options, that is debited and short term. Already we had recorded creditors. So, you have an option debited and short term. So, liquidity ratio means what? It is normally for the short term, shorter period of time. So, what is your answer? Short term. So, this is about your fill in the blanks. So, we are done with 10 questions. Now moving on to the 11th one, it is match the following, where you can get 5 marks easily. Okay, so partnership deed. So you have to see and match here. So partnership deed is what? It is written agreement. Correct? So partnership deed is written agreement. This is A. Next, gain ratio. Gain ratio is what? Gain ratio is calculated under retirement of a partner. Next, so suppose if they ask sacrifice ratio, then it would be admission of a partner. Gain ratio is calculated under retirement of a partner. Dissolution of a partnership firm means what? Closing down of the business. Companies Act 2013. Next, purchase of fixed asset. It is what? Investing activity. Okay, so E. So how you are going to write in your question paper or in your answer sheet? So you'll write like this. It would be better. So if you write these also, only the option is also fine. But make sure that it look very good. Suppose if you write part A as well as with the respective answer in the part B. So don't draw line like this and all. Don't cross the lines. So make sure that for the respective answer, you'll write in the same line. Okay. So partnership deed is a written agreement. Gain ratio is retirement of a partner. Dissolution of partnership means what? Closing down of the business firm. Companies Act is 2013. Purchase of fixed asset is investing activities. Okay, so you can easily get 5 marks here. Now coming to your fourth main, that is under part section A itself. So 1 mark question or 1 word question. Answer the following question in 1 word or 1 sentence each. Now, your 12th question is, state any one method of valuation of goodwill. So, there are actually 3 methods. So, I have given all the 3 methods so that you can remember for your 2 marks also. Suppose if they ask, state any 2 methods of valuation of goodwill, then you can write any 2. So, here they have asked for only 1 mark. So, you can write any 1. Okay. So, average profit method, or you can write super profit method, or you can write capitalization method. Next, 13th question is, debentures can be converted into shares. State true or false. So, your answer is true. Your debentures can be converted into shares. Next, 14th question, give an example for non-current asset. Non-current asset means what? Fixed asset. So, you can give lot of examples here, but they have asked only 1. So, you can write building, furniture, machinery, land. So, these are all non-current assets. So, here I have given the answer building. Next, state any one importance of financial statement. So, financial statement analysis. So, what is the importance of financial statement analysis? So, it helps in knowing the efficiency of the management. So, you can remember the word here, efficiency of the management. So, our financial statement analysis helps the investors to analyze present as well as future profitability of the business. Okay. So, financial analysis means what? You are going to study your financial statement in detail. So, by which, what are its importance? So, you can analyze yourself and write any one answer. So, I have given here 2, but you can write any one. Next, they have asked 16th question, expand ICAI. So, what is the full form of ICAI? Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So, while writing your abbreviations, make sure that your I, that is this institute, I should be capital, C, Chartered, C should be in capital, A, accountants, A should be in capital, I, India, that is I should be in capital. But and make sure that nowhere you will make a spelling mistake while writing the abbreviations. Okay, so these are the 16 questions what we have discussed for how many marks? 20 marks. Now come to section B, that is of 2 marks questions, that is answer any 3 questions. Each question carries how many marks? 2 marks. So out of 5 you have to answer any 3. So let us see what are the 5 questions they have asked in your model question paper. So the first question was define partnership. So while writing the definition, make sure that you'll write as it is. Suppose if you don't know the sentence, or if you don't know the definition, try to attempt the extra question. So make sure that if you know the definition properly, if they ask any definition, you have to write as it is without leaving a word or sentence. Okay. So to be in a safer side, if you don't know the definition, so you can try to attempt the other question, because anyhow you will have an option in this section. So define partnership. Section 4 of Indian Partnership Act 1932 defines partnership as the relation between persons who have agreed to share the profit of the business carried on by all, or any one of them acting for all. So this is the exact definition, so you can go through that. Next question, 18th question, mention any 2 circumstances for retirement of a partner. So you can write any of the 2 circumstances for where a partner retires from a partnership firm. So it may be due to ill health of the partner, or the partner might go insolvent. So any of the reason you can give here. So I have given when a partner retires due to ill health, or the second one will be when the partner doesn't want to continue. So by his own wish he can retire from a partnership firm. Okay, or if other partners tells him forcefully to retire, then also he might go for retirement. So anything you can do here, but with the mutual consent, he has to retire from a partnership firm. Okay, so that are the circumstances. Next is, what is minimum subscription? So this question come across under the chapter Accounting for Share Capital. So what is minimum subscription? It refers to the minimum number of shares that a company needs to get out of the entire issue by the date of closure. So when a company issues shares to the public, so there is a minimum limit that has to be purchased by the public. So that is known as what? Minimum subscription. So it is a minimum number of shares that a company needs to get from the public. So that is known as what? Minimum subscription. Currently, every company required to raise 90% of the issue amount. So whatever the issue amount which is being given to the public, out of which 90% has to be given or 90% should be the minimum subscription. Next is 20th question. Give the meaning of financial statements. So already you know about financial statement. So suppose if you know the meaning, you can write in your own words also. Okay. So financial statement are the basic and the formal annual reports through which the corporate management communicates financial information to its users. It may be external users or internal users. So what are the financial statements normally we have? Balance sheet, statement of profit and loss. So write on your own words how you can write. Financial statements are the basic or the formal information or formal report which has to be submitted to the users, that may be external or internal users, and it is very formal. So what are the financial statements to be prepared? Balance sheet as well as statement of profit and loss. So you can get 2 marks here. Okay. So next question, 21st question. Write any 2 objectives of preparing cash flow statement. So here the word itself tells cash flow. Okay. So cash flow statement, under cash flow statement we are going to record only cash transactions, that is cash inflow as well as outflow. So here they are asking, mention any 2 objectives of cash flow statement. So your first one is, that is the 2 objectives of preparing cash flow statement are, so the first one is to provide useful information about cash inflows and outflows. Yes, of course, the business have to know what is the cash inflow in that particular year and what is the cash outflow in that particular year. Next is to provide a basis to access the ability of the enterprise to generate cash and cash equivalents and utilize those cash flows. So what is the remaining cash which is there in the business and how to utilize them, or where the investment has to be made. So whether the organization is having limited cash or whether they want to borrow the funds. So this all relating to cash. So will be decided through this cash flow statement, because we will exactly come to know what is the cash inflow and outflow under each and every activities, that may be in investing activities or in operating activities or in the financing activities. So you can write any 2 objectives of cash flow statement. So this was the 2 marks question. So hope you are clear about all the 1 marks as well as 2 marks. Now coming to section C. So this is under 6th main. Okay. Answer any 3 questions. Each question carries 6 marks each. So here also you will be having an option, out of 5 questions you are going to answer only 3. Now let us see the 22nd question. So this is a question relating to P&L appropriation account. Okay. So go through the question. Arun and Varun are the partners, commence business on 1/4/2022, sharing profit and loss in the ratio 2:1 with capital of rupees 80,000 and rupees 50,000 respectively. They have given the capital here. They earned a profit of rupees 20,000. So what is the profit? 20,000 before allowing the following. So they have given interest on capital at 8%, interest on drawings, Arun 2,000, Varun 2,500, salary to Arun 3,000 per annum they have given. Next, commission to Varun 2,000 per annum. Prepare P&L appropriation account for the year ending 31st/3/2023. So this is a question. Now, easy to remember under P&L appropriation account. So you have debit side as well as credit side. Under credit side, only 2 items you have to record. One is profit, the other one is interest on drawings. Even though if they give drawings, even though if they give capital, nowhere you will record drawings and capital. So make a note of it. In your P&L appropriation account, nowhere you will record your drawings as well as capital. So capital and drawings they will give only to calculate the interest. Now here they have given the capital. Here they have given the capital 80,000 and 50,000. It is only to calculate interest on capital. In the same way they might give you drawings also. Drawings will be given only to calculate interest on drawings. Somewhere in order to make you confused, so they will give you drawings along with that interest on drawings amount. Then ignore that drawings. Just take interest on drawings because we don't need drawings and capital in your P&L appropriation account. The other thing you have to remember is in your credit side you will record only 2 items. One is profit, other one is interest on drawings. Okay, so we shall directly see the solution here. So how to write the solution? I have told you your presentation of your paper is very important. So you'll start with the heading Profit and Loss Appropriation Account for the year ending 31st-3/2023. You'll be having debit and credit side. Under debit side particulars, amount, credit side particulars and amount. Now in your credit side, I have told you, you are going to record only two items, that is profit and interest on drawings. So first record the profit by profit and loss account in the bracket profit. So what is the profit? 20,000. So we'll write that profit. Next, interest on drawing. By interest on drawings, they have given us clearly around 2,000. Varun 2,500. So write in the inner column Arun 2,000, Varun 2,500, total it, write in the outer column 4,500. Hope you are clear with the credit side. We have only two items, profit and interest on drawings. Now come to the debit side, the other thing we have to record. Interest on capital at 8% per annum. They have given the capital upon which you have to calculate the interest here. Okay, so to interest on capital, Arun, what is the capital? 80,000 into 8%. So 80,000 into 8 divided by 100, it is 6,400. Next for Varun, 50,000 into 8%, that is 4,000. You will add these two, write in the outer column. Always make sure that you will write in the inner column, total it, then write in the outer column. What some student will do? So they will write this 10,400 outside. Again, whatever the answer you will get, you will write this 6,400 outside only in the outer column. Don't do that mistake. So write in the inner column, total it, then write in the outer column. If you do the same thing, if you write the total as well as these two also outside the column, then your answer will go wrong. Okay. Next, what they have given, interest on drawing is done in the credit side. Salary to around 3,000 per annum they have given. Suppose if they give per month, then you have to multiply with 12. Now they have clearly given it is per annum. So we'll take that directly. That is to Arun salary 3,000. Next they have given commission to Varun. This is also per annum. So we will take directly. So how to take? To Varun's commission 2,000. Now as usual you will balance both the side. So balancing figure will be either profit or loss. So if you see here it is 24,500, but you will get a balancing figure of 9,100. How did you get? So 24,500 is greater, but here it is how much? 10,400 plus 3,000 plus 2,000. That is 15,400. There it is 24,500. So which one is greater? 24,500 is greater. You'll write 24,500 both the side. You will leave some space. Then you will write the total. Because we don't know whether it is profit or loss. So we need some space to write. Correct? So you'll write the total both the side minus 15,400. You get a balancing figure of 9,100, which is what? Profit, because your credit side is more than debit side. So it is profit. So you'll transfer that profit to partners capital account. So how to write? To profit transfer to partners capital account. So there are two partners, Arun and Varun, and this is a profit. You have to distribute this profit in which ratio? They will give the ratio 2:1. Okay, so 2/3 and 1/3. So 9,100 into 2/3, that is 6,067. 9,100 into 1/3, 3,033. So hope you are clear about P&L appropriation account. We shall move on to the next question. The 23rd question, this is from retirement. They have asked calculation of gain ratio. Okay, so Geeta, Sita and Sarita are partners sharing profits in the ratio 4:3:2. So they have given the old ratio. So let us write first what they have given in the question. So they have given old ratio. Who are the partners? Geeta, Sita and Sarita. Their old ratio is 4:3:1, which can be written in the form of fraction 4/9. How to get 4/9? 4 plus 3 plus 2, it is 9. So your 9 will be the denominator. So 4/9, 3/9 and 2/9. Okay. Now who retires? Geeta retires. Sita and Sarita decided to share the profit in the ratio 5:3. Now this is new ratio. So who retires? Geeta retires. Sita and Sarita is going to continue. Their new ratio is 5:3. Now how to write 5:3 in the form of fraction? So 5 plus 3 is 8. So 8 will be the denominator, 5/8 and 3/8. Next, they have asked us to calculate gain ratio of Sita and Sarita. So these are the information they have given in the question itself. This doesn't carry marks. Now your actual calculation comes from here. So for this formula, it carries 1 mark. For this calculation 2 marks and this calculation 2 marks. It is 5. Now to write the ratio, it carries 1 mark. Okay, so present it very neatly. First write the formula. Gain ratio is equal to new share minus old share. Now why I have given all this? Because suppose when you are reading the question, if you write all these, it will be easy for you to understand. So that your calculations becomes more easy. Okay. Now gain ratio is equal to new share minus old share. This is a formula. Now we are going to calculate that of Sita. So what is new share? 5 by 8. What is old share? 3 by 9. 5 by 8 minus 3 by 9. So your denominators are not same. So you will get a LCM of 72, or you can cross multiply. So 9 5s are 45, 8 3s are 24. Okay. So 45 minus 24, it is 21 divided by 72. Next for Sarita also. So your new share is 3 by 8 minus 2 by 9. So you'll get a LCM of 72 when you find out the LCM of 8 and 9. Or you can directly multiply. 8 8s are 64, 8 9s are 72. Okay, then cross multiply. 8 2s are 16, 9 3s are 27. 27 minus 16. So you'll get 11 by 72. Okay. Now therefore gain ratio of Sita and Sarita. Don't stop your solution here itself. They have particularly asked it is gain ratio. So you have to write in the form of ratio. Okay. So therefore gain ratio of Sita and Sarita is 21 divided by 72 is to 11 divided by 72. So which can be written it as 21 is to 11. So hope you are clear about this question. Moving on to the next question. 24th one. P, Q and R are partners sharing profits in the ratio 2:2:1 respectively. Their capital balance on 1/4/2023 stood at 70,000, 50,000 and 40,000 respectively. Q died on 30th/6/2023. Okay, so the partnership deed provided the following. So we have to give Q's capital, interest on capital at 6% to Q. Salary to Q at 1,000 per month they have given. Next, Q share of goodwill. Goodwill of the firm they have given. So we have to take out her share first, then distribute among the remaining partners. Next, Q share of accrued profit till the date of death, which has to be transferred to profit and loss suspense account, that is 4,000. Prepare Q's capital account. Okay, now we shall directly go through the solution. So they have asked us to prepare Q's capital account, where your format will be particulars amount, debit and credit side. The first thing, you have to transfer her capital. So what is her capital? This is of P, this is of Q and this is of R. So we are preparing Q's capital. So our capital is 50,000. So how do we write? By balance brought down 50,000. Next, they have asked to give the capital. 6% per annum they have given. But whether Q was there for the full year? No. So they have given the capital on 1/4/2023. But when did he die? 30th/6/2023. So for how many months he was there in the business? 4, 5, 6. Only 3 months. Correct? So we have to give interest only for 3 months. So how to write? By interest on capital, 50,000 was our capital, into percentage is 6%, 6 divided by 100, into only 3 months he was there in the business, 3/12. So it is 750. Next, salary to Q 1,000 per month. So 1,000, but he was there only for 3 months. So 1,000 into 3. So that is by salary 1,000 into 3, 3,000. Next, they have given Q share of goodwill. Goodwill of the firm they have given. So when they give firm's goodwill, then what you have to do? First, take out Q's share. That amount has to be distributed among the remaining partner. So I have written a working note here. That is working note. Goodwill of the firm is 60,000. Now let us take Q share. That is 60,000 into 2/5. So I'll get 24,000. Now this 24,000 has to be distributed among the remaining partners. So their profit sharing ratio was 2:2:1. So this is of P, Q and R. Now Q died. The remaining share is 2:1. When you divide 24,000 into 2:1, then you'll get 16,000 and 8,000. Now how do you show in Q's capital account? By P's capital account 16,000, by R's capital account 8,000. This is goodwill distribution. So hope you are clear. Next, Q share of accrued profit. Accrued profit in the sense from the last balance sheet till the date of death. So what the profit is earned, that is known as what? Accrued profit, which has to be transferred to profit and loss suspense account. Now here no need to calculate. They have directly given it as 4,000. So we'll write it directly. So you'll write it as by profit and loss suspense account, accrued profit 4,000. So no other entries here. Suppose it was drawings and interest on drawings, then you had to write in the debit side. Now nothing is here. Now balance both the side. Balancing figure has to be transferred to Q's executor's account. Now who is an executor? Now Q died. So the amount that has to be given to Q. So that person is called as what? Executor. Executor is a legal representative of a deceased partner. Okay. So when Q dies, so whatever the amount that has to be given to him, so there is a person who will be legally represented. That person is called as what? Executor. So we shall give that amount to his executor. So when you balance, it is 81,750. Here there is nothing, so your balancing figure is 81,750, which has to be transferred to executor's account. So hope you are clear about it. Now moving on to the next question, 25th one. From the following information, prepare statement of profit and loss for the year ending 31st-3-2023 as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. So this is a question from financial statement of a company. Now they have given us few particulars here: revenue from operations, purchase of goods, salary to employees, leave encashment, rent and taxes, repairs to machinery, and they have given tax. So you have to exactly know the format of statement of profit and loss as per Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. So then you can easily solve. Write the heading, statement of profit and loss for the year ending 31st-3-2018. So your format will be particulars, note number and amount. So this note number, so it is like a working note where you have to prepare a necessary notes wherever it is necessary. So it starts from revenue from operations. So 5 lakh. Next, other income they have not given, so it is dash. Then total income. So when you add 1 plus 2, you will get total income. So here 5 lakh plus 0 it is. Now it is 5 lakh only. For expenses. Expenses we have salary to purchase of goods. So you can write purchase of goods directly, that is purchase of stock in trade. So 3 lakh. Next we have salary to employees and leave encashment. So this can be written under a note, that is employee benefit expenses. So how to write a note for it? So you have to write like this. It is like a working note. Notes to account, this also carries marks. Note 1, employee benefit expenses. So anything related to employees comes under employee benefit expenses. Salary to employees 40,000, leave encashment 10,000. So total it is 50,000. But while recording in your statement of profit and loss, you have to write it as note number 1. So see here, employee benefit expenses, note number 1, 50,000 directly. Okay, so you need not write separately because already you have prepared a note for it. Next is rent and taxes and rebates to machinery. So this comes under one more note, that is other expenses. So it is other expenses, note number 2. How we have prepared a note? So other expenses, rent and taxes 30,000, rebates to machinery 20,000, total it is 50,000. So I'll write it as note number 2, 50,000. Now you have to add all the expenses, only the expenses. So you'll get total expenses. So when you add 3 lakh plus 50,000 plus 50,000, this much. So I'll get 4 lakh. That is total expenses. Next, 5th is profit before tax, that is 3 minus 4. So 3 minus 4 in the sense these two. So total expenses. So this will be 4. Okay, the total of 4. So that is 5 lakh minus 4 lakh, that is 1 lakh. That is profit before tax. Next, they have given tax expenses also in the problem. Tax is 30%. So less tax expenses. So upon this amount, profit before tax. So profit before tax was 1 lakh into 30%. 30 divided by 100. You will get 30,000. This is tax expenses. On this amount, you have to calculate 30%. That is 30,000. And the last 7th is profit for the year or profit after tax. That is 5 minus 6. 1 lakh minus 30,000. So your answer is 70,000. So this is what statement of profit and loss, which comes for 6 marks, and this is from the chapter financial statement of a company. Now moving on to the next question, that is the last question under section C. From the following information, calculate cash flow from financing activities. So they have given equity share capital. In 2022 it was 20 lakh, in 2023 it is 30 lakh, which means it has increased, correct? Secured loan, in 2022 it was 9 lakh, in 2023 it is 16 lakh, which means that we have borrowed. During the year, secured loan repaid. So they have repaid the loan 4 lakh with interest of rupees 20,000, received dividend of 50,000. Now this is a question for which we have to prepare cash flow from, that is financing activities. Now this is how you will write the answer. You'll write the heading cash flow from financing activities for the year ending 31st/3/2023. And your format is particulars and amount. If you see here, equity share capital, earlier it was 20 lakh, now it is 30 lakh, which means that we have issued, correct? We have issued the shares and we have taken from the public. We have taken the amount from the public. How much? 10 lakh. That is 30 lakh minus 20 lakh. 10 lakh we have taken, which means that our cash, there is cash inflow. Our cash have increased. So we have to add that. So issue of equity shares 30 lakh minus 20 lakh, that is plus 10 lakh. Next, secured loan. Earlier it was 9 lakh, now it is 16 lakh. So for which we have prepared a working note. Secured loan at the end of the year was 16 lakh. Add loan repaid. We have repaid the loan also. So that is 4 lakh. So the total loan amount is 20 lakh. Okay. Less opening balance of loan. So opening balance in the beginning of the year was 9 lakh. So loan taken during the year is how much? That is actual amount or loan taken is 10 lakh. Okay. So this 10 lakh has to be shown directly here. Secured loan borrowed is how much? 11 lakh. Okay. So 20 lakh minus 9 lakh, that is 11 lakh. So secured loan borrowed is plus 11 lakh. Next is we have repaid the loan, which means that cash outflow. So we have to minus. So secured loan repaid minus 4 lakh. Next, with interest of rupees 20,000. So we have paid interest also. Interest paid on secured loan minus 20,000. Received dividend. So when we receive, it is inflow. Cash increases. Correct? That is 50,000. So received dividend plus 50,000. So this is how you have to record. So when there is inflow, you have to add. When there is outflow, you have to minus. So when you add or do all the calculations here, that is 10 lakh plus 11 lakh, that is 21 lakh plus 50,000. 21 lakh 50,000 minus 4 lakh minus 20,000, you'll get 17 lakh 30,000. So if it is a positive amount, then it is cash inflow from financing activities. Suppose it is negative amount, so whatever the answer you will get at the end is negative, then it is cash outflow from financing activities. So these are the questions they have asked from section A, section B and section C for 1 mark, 2 mark as well as 6 marks. So hope you have understood. So this is exact model question paper which is released from the board. In the next session, I am going to discuss about part D or the section D, which comes for 12 marks questions. So only 12 marks I am going to discuss. So 6 questions will be asked, out of which you are going to answer only 3. So but we shall solve all the 6 questions in detail. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's session. See you all in my next session with a new topic. Till then, take care. Thank you.